Hey guys, City here with another review. This time I'll be reviewing the LBX Pandora from Danball Senki. This is a strider frame LBX used by Ami Kawamura during the second half of the season, replacing Kunoichi. So, starting off, as usual, we're going to set aside the LBX and its parts to take a look at the instruction manual to get an idea of what the building process was like. So, of course, we have the typical kind of cover, showing a fully painted mock-up of the model, the player who uses that LBX, and the animation model of said LBX. On the inside, you'll see that this once again used 4 runners, 3 for parts and 1 for joints. And you know the drill by now, these are the standard and very streamlined full color instructions that make the process of building an LBX very easy to do. You then have an example of customization you can make here. And on the back, you have a little comic advertising the custom weapon sets. So let's move on. Next, of course, we'll get to the parts breakdown, where we'll look at the different components of the LBX. Starting off from the head, the main colors of plastic used here are red, dark gray, and white, with the occasional use of clear purple, yellow, and clear blue. So for the head, the stickers used are these 2 on the front and these 2 for the side panels. And of note is that this LBX has a lot of stickers, more than usual for an LBX. Now, for mine, with these kind of hair pieces or ribbons that come out the back, while these 2 usually stay in pretty well, this one has a tendency to pop out. I don't know if it's a common error on Pandora or if it's just mine, though I may glue this in place just to keep that from popping out. Next we have the chest, or the body rather. Where the stickers used here are 1 white sticker right here, this yellow strip there, and then there's a silver sticker underneath this clear purple part. Of course, as is typical, you can remove the chest plate and lift up this cover to reveal the core box. Which, as usual, is 2 sides, so you can flip it to whichever configuration you like best. Next we have the arms, which are these typical strider frame arms, which use a slimmer look to it, with the thinner joints for the wrist and the elbow. For the articulation, you can move the joint in the shoulder, rotate the bicep. It has a single jointed elbow, a ball joint wrist. And stickers used here are 2 for the shoulder pads, 1 for this part here, and then 2 for the wrist. Now, one thing to note, and this is a slight mistake by me, is that Pandora actually does have something a little bit extra in the case of the wrist, in that normally it comes with a pair of wrist extenders which allow you to bend the wrist and pose it a little bit more dynamically, but when I was building this model I did not see that in the instructions, and I did not see them on the runners. So what I typically do with my model kits is that when I'm all done with them, I'll typically just throw away the runners that have all the unused pieces, and I didn't know about those 2 extra pieces, so I accidentally threw those away with the runners. But just know that those are available, and that those are parts that you can use with your LBX. And then we have the legs, which have the bulk of the stickers. There's 1 on each of these hip pads, or hip plates, 2 on the inside of each thigh, 1 for each knee pad, a pair for the white part with the lining, 2 for each of the legs on the sides, and then 1 on each of these kind of boosters on the back. Now, one thing I find a little bit strange about the way the stickers are done is that almost all of the yellow is stickers, even though they used yellow plastic for the eyes, and a lot of the white on here is also done with stickers, even though they also use white plastic in some places. And so for the articulation, you can move the legs on the ball joints, and this is the Strider frame kind of hip system, so it's a little odd, but you can get a pretty good range of motion. It's got a single joint knee, and then you can also rotate the jet boosters on the back. And we can put it together, and you can see what I mean by this piece having a tendency to pop out. So, pop on the head, pop in the arms, and pop that on the legs. And then you have LBX Pandora. And then of course you also have its weapons, a pair of knives called the Hope Edge. So these are some nice pieces, as they are made from multiple colors of plastic. And we've got some nice clear blue blades. So for these, the way you equip them, so you take each one and remove this top piece, and slide it through the bottom of the hand. Secure it back in place, just like so. And you do the same for the other one. Just like so. Now, being a Strider frame LBX, while this one does have a little bit more balance than normal Strider frames, this still doesn't have very good balance. So it comes with a custom stand. So the way you attach it to the stand is that you take off this piece from the back, which you can then plug underneath the stand right here to store it. And then you have the connector piece, which can be adjusted with one of 3 notches to slightly raise it or slightly lower it. So once you've selected the position you want to have it angled at, you then just plug it into the back. And then we have the completed LBX Pandora. It's definitely got a very interesting design. It looks like some kind of cross between a warrior maiden and a battle maid, as I could describe it. While being a Strider frame, it definitely has a little bit more bulk and a lot more armor to it than Kunoichi, making it look less frail. And overall, the colors all go together pretty well. You also get into some pretty good poses using the stand, and if you don't throw them away like I did, the extra wrist pieces. But for what's worth, I think that Pandora is a pretty good LBX. You of course also have the custom dice with the different plates and the different APs. It's 400 for the head, 200 for the body, 100 for the arms, 2 leg plates, each with 500, and then 200 for the weapon. So the head and the legs are the best parts to use within the custom dice battle. And there we go. So like I said, LBX Pandora is definitely a very solid build. While it is unfortunate that it has perhaps a bit too many stickers, when put on correctly, they do give it a lot of its colors that it needs, and it helps it look fairly complete. Even though I think that a lot of these stickers could probably have been done with more plastic pieces. But if you're a fan of Strider Frame LBXs or LBX belonging to Ami Kawamura, then I can definitely recommend this one, as it's definitely one of the best feminine type LBXs. So next time I'll be shifting gears a little bit, and I'm going to start looking at the Yokai Watch PlaMo with a look at the Jibinyan PlaModel. So, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this review, please like, comment, or subscribe, and check me out on Facebook at facebook.com/KRX50. And for now, this is KRX50, writing off.